What's up, Hokie Nation, and welcome into another Brent Pry press conference breakdown as Virginia Tech looks for its third consecutive victory when the Rutgers Scarlet Knights come to Lane Stadium on Saturday. Now, it is no secret that Virginia Tech is banged up in some pretty key areas, namely Xavier Chaplin, Ali Jennings, and Bashal Tutin. Do we have an update on any of those three? And on top of that, how much more banged up actually are the Hokies? Here's Pry.
To be frank with you, we've got 8 or 9 guys right now that are questionable, that are limited today. So we'll see over the next 2 days where we get to. Obviously Xavier played 2 snaps and came out of the game. He's limited. Ali's limited. Bashal's limited. Kelly's limited. Will Johnson's still out. Nick Gallo still out. Jalen Stroman's still out. We've got some guys. George Balance wasn't able to play Saturday. A guy that's important for us in our linebacker depth and on teams. Zeke Wimbush is banged up. Brody Meadows banged up. So we're banged up right now. We got to get some guys healthy this week.
Well, that right there is what is going to be very crucial. Speaking of the Scarlet Knights, what are Brent Pry's first thoughts on the boys from Piscataway, if you will, as a whole? Let's see.
We got our hands full. Big challenge. It's the most physical and biggest, strongest team we've played, obviously, this year and in some time, to be quite honest. They're very big on their defensive line. They're very big at linebacker. And they have a really nice-sized offensive line and a physical run game. So we got our hands full with this group.
So for a team in Virginia Tech that, quite frankly, was pretty pushed around defensively up in New Jersey last season and beaten in the trenches, how much better prepared is this team to deal with that this year? Here we go.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think we won't know till till we hit the ball game and get into it. But do I think we're better prepared? Yes. Do I think we're stronger? Do I think we're more physical? Do I think we're playing more sound? Yes. Better technique? Yes. Do I think our quarterback's more comfortable in what we're doing and who we are? I think when we went to Rutgers last year, our identity was a little bit up in the air. And so are we better equipped, better prepared? Yes. But, again, they got a bunch of returners.
And then probably the biggest component in this matchup is stopping Kyle Monangai. I mean, he's arguably one of the better running backs in the Big Ten. And you look at what he did last year against Virginia Tech, 116 yards and 3 touchdowns. What makes him so good? Here's Pry.
Yeah, he's a physical runner. I think he does a great job keeping his feet and legs going. I think that first would-be tackler feels it. He puts his pads down. He protects the ball really well. Now, you look at their last game against Akron, he did a really nice job finding the open gap, finding the lane, even if it wasn't big. He's experienced. Akron did a nice job at times, but when they weren't gap accountable, he made them pay for it. And, he's a quality back. He fits what they do.
So how crucial is the defensive line going to have to be in this game? Again, against an offense that runs right through Kyle Monangai. Here's Brent Pry.
Yeah, we have to play our best game yet. And I think we're capable. Those guys have done a great job. And we've got depth there, which is key. And, we've got to beat them off the ball. We've got to play lower. We've got to get on their side more often. And if we do that, it's going to go a long way in helping us, play good defense Saturday, which we need to be able to do.
And then what sticks out about Rutgers defensively? Again, this is a unit that brings back some key pieces from a season ago, but also added some as well. Here's Pry.
Coach Shiano's a really good defensive coach, over a long career. They're sound, they're physical, they play with good fundamentals. They are a big physical group, and they returned a bunch of guys. They picked up the transfer from Florida State that's helping them. 2 of their better defensive players haven't played yet. The middle linebacker and the defensive end were out for the first 2 weeks. I expect them to return. They were dressed, but they weren't playing. So they got a good group, and they've got a couple of DBs that can really run. I don't know that they've been tested yet, as a defense. I mean, I thought Akron moved the ball at times. Howard had a little success running the ball at times, but those games were about they were over by middle of the third quarter, you could say. So, but that defense is a good group, big and strong, tough to move around.
Just to kind of put a bow on this whole thing, I kind of want to focus on Kyron Drones last week against Old Dominion. It's no secret that first off, the 53-yard run down the far sideline where he stiff-armed a defender and lowered the shoulder was pretty cool. At the same time, does Pry want his starting quarterback taking hits like that, especially out in the open field? Let's see.
No, I'm good with it. I love it, in fact. That's who he is. That's one of his strengths. We got to lean into that. He gains confidence through plays like that. That's one of his best qualities is his physicality, his size, his strength. So we got to play that. And, there's certainly risk involved with it, but it's something that's important to him and being, the player that he can be.
So there you have it. Virginia Tech and Rutgers in arguably a pretty key swing game this weekend in the 2024 season. You have Miami coming up on the road and conference play beginning the following Friday. This is a must win for Virginia Tech. Tech Sideline has you covered all week long, but until then, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.